So today we'll be learning about Python modules. Fine. So what is this? Learning by doing.
Learning by doing.
Yeah. So already you have experienced about this concept learning by doing because you have already done a lot of practice on the programming part also. So when you actually do the programming, you actually know what are the problems and where you are not able to cope up. So when you actually implement in programming, you are able to do the things. So what topics we'll be covering in Python modules? First, we'll be learning about what we mean by Python modules. Then what are the standard modules that are available in Python? And we'll learn about the import statement. We'll learn about the dir, directory function. So when we are talking about Python modules, we'll be learning about how to create a module, how to import modules. Then we'll be learning more on modules and importing part. Then executing modules as scripts, module search path, compiled Python files, standard modules, and dir function. So starting with Python modules. What is a Python module? A Python module can be defined as a Python program file, right? So Python module is again a Python program file, which basically contains a Python code, which includes Python functions, classes, or variables. So basically, a Python module can be defined as a Python program file and which contains a Python code. And that Python code includes Python functions, Python classes, or variables. And in other words, what we can say that our Python code file saved with the extension .py. So whenever we are storing the Python file, we are storing the Python file with the extension .py. So the Python module files will also be saved with the .py file, and they will be treated as modules. So we may have a runnable code also inside the Python module. So whenever you are talking about Python module, so inside that Python module, you can have the runnable code as well. Fine. So the modules in Python provides us the flexibility to organize the code in a logical way, right? So you can have number of functions that you have put into that module, right? We can say that you are doing some particular task, and in that task also you have some subtask, and in those subtasks you have different functions that you need to code. So you can have different modules corresponding to those submodules, and whatever the functions are there corresponding to that sub uh, task, you are enclosing them in that particular module. So in this way, you are organizing the code in a logical way. So when you have to use the functionality of that module, to use the functionality of one module into another, what we need to do is we must have to import the specific module. So when you will be importing that module, then the Python will come to know that how and which definition to pick up for the execution. So let's see this example. We will create a module named file.py, right? So this is the name of the module, file.py, and it contains a function, and the name of the function is func, right? And this func function, this contains code to print some message onto the console. So we are having one module name is file.py. In this module, we are defining one function with name func, which is displaying some message onto the console. So let's create the module with the named file.py, and in that in that module or in that Python file, you are defining one message. So you are defining one function, def display message, some arguments to be passed. So print some message, right? We have already seen this. So this is the function that we are defining inside this module. So here we need to include this module into our main module to call the method display message. So this is this method you want to display, you want to call upon. So if you want to call upon, you need to import this module into your main module, right? So loading the module in our Python code, how to load it? So we need to load the module in our Python code to use its functionality. Python provides two type of statements. First is the import statement and another is from import statement. One is import statement, another is from hyphen import statement. The import statement. The import statement is used to import all the functionality of one module into another. Means whatever the functionality what we have defined inside the module, it will be imported in totality wherever you are importing. So here we can notice that we can use the functionality of any Python source file because this is .py, right? So module file is again a .py and any Python file itself is also .py. So we can use the functionality of any Python source file by importing that file as the module into another Python source file. Fine. So we can use the functionality of any Python source file by importing that file as the module into another Python source file. We can import multiple modules with a single import statement. What we are doing is now we are importing multiple modules with a single import statement, but a module is loaded once regardless of the number of times it has been imported into our files. We can import multiple modules. So here module 1, module 2, module n, by putting comma over here. So we can import multiple modules with a single import statement. So this is a single import statement and we are importing multiple modules over here, but a module is loaded once regardless of number of times it has been imported into our file. So hence, if we need to call the function display defined in the file .py, so here we are having the module file.py and we have the function display message defined inside the module. What we are doing is we have to import that file as a module into our module. So let's see the example. So we are creating some Python file, right? And inside that Python file we are importing the module. So this is the name of the module. So here we are importing the file.py module. So .py is not necessary to write over here because the name is sufficient. So import file semicolon, name equal to input. So this is just we are getting the input from the user, then we are using this module name, then we are using the dot over here, and then we are calling upon the function that has been defined in the module, that is the display message, and you are passing the argument over here. So that is how you are calling upon the method that has been defined in this module. So from import, so we have already seen import. Now we are talking about from import. Instead of importing the whole module into the namespace, so as we have seen, if we are using only import, so we are importing the whole module into the namespace, right? So we have already we have the understanding about the namespace. So Python provides the flexibility to import only the specific attributes of a module. Here, if there are multiple functions that are defined in the particular module, but in our task, we require only particular functions to be incorporated or called. So we are not importing all the functions. So we will be importing particular functions into our Python program. So then we need to use from. So from module name, import, then which functions you want to call up those functions. So let's see the example. Consider the following module named as calculation. So it contains three functions. First is summation, another is multiplication, another is divide. So this is your summation, this is your multiplication, and this is your divide. So you have three functions over here, and they are encapsulated into the module calculation.py. So what we are doing now, so what we are doing is you will be importing only summation. So here you are using the keyword from name of the Python module calculation, then the keyword import, and among three which you require only summation. So you have put the name summation over here. So now it will import only the summation from the module calculation.py. So then you are inputting something, then you are printing by doing the summation. So this summation function requires two parameters that you have taken from the user and you are passing over here. So A over here, right? And this B over here. And you are passing to the summation. And here you can notice that we do not need to write like calculation dot summation. We do not require this. We have called directly as summation without using the name of the module over here. Fine. So it returns a sorted list of names that are defined in the past module. So here you will be passing the module name, right? And it will return you a sorted list of the names that are defined in this module. So this list contain all the submodules, variables, functions that are defined in this module. Fine. So let's see. Import JSON. So you are importing some module JSON. You are modules right through the directory function, and you are creating a list. Then you are printing the list. So it is displaying the list. So it is the elements are basically all the variables and the functions and submodules that are present in this JSON module. Python's standard library, if you talk about, that is very extensive, and it offers you a very wide range of functionalities. So here we will be discussing how to use some of the Python 3 standard modules such as statistics modules, math module, and the random module. And rest you can explore by yourself also. So if you talk about statistics module, right, this is the name of the module, statistics. So this module, as mentioned in Python 3 documentation, provide functions for calculating mathematical statistics of numerics, that is real valued data. So what are the some of the commonly used functions? So how to use it? So first we are talking about mean. So basically it provides you the arithmetic mean of the data. So whenever you are calling some methods from some particular module, so you will be importing that module. So this is the standard Python module. So import statistics, this is the name of the module. Then you are defining the list, then mean, and you are passing on the list to it. Fine. And it is displaying you the result given by this mean. Here you are talking about median. Fine. So you are calling this, you are importing it, and after importing you are writing statistics dot median, and you are passing this list to it, and it will be giving you the answer. Then median underscore low, it is another function that is defined in the statistics. Low median of the data is the lower of two middle values when the number of data elements are even. So here just you are calling like statistics dot median underscore low. Then math module. So you are having sqrt, right? So seal, floor, and so on. So here you are importing math, and you are calling math dot sqrt, and you are passing some value, and it is returning you the result. Ceil returns the ceiling of x, the smallest integer greater than or equal to x. So how to use it? Import math, right? And then math dot ceil, and in within you are passing parameters. Floor, so you are again importing math, right? You are importing math, and then math dot floor x. So you are calling this function. Then factorial fx. So again, you are importing math, defining one variable x equal to 6, and then math dot factorial x. Right. So import math, defining variable math dot exponential of x. So this is how you are calling exponential function. Par, if you want to calculate par, so you are importing the module math, you are defining the variables, right? And here you are math dot power, you are passing two arguments to it, and it is giving you the results. Random module, right? So here this is this module, as mentioned in Python, these documentation implements pseudo random number generators for various distributions. So first is your rand int, returns a random integer x which belongs to range a comma b. So you are importing the module random dot rand int. So you are calling upon this function, and you are passing the range over here, right? So this is a, this is your b. So it will be returning you 10. Choice sequence returns a random element from the non-empty sequence. So here you are providing the sequence, like this is head and tail. You want to arbitrarily choose one. So this is the name of the, first you are importing the random module, then random dot choice, and you are passing the sequence over here. And it will be giving you, after shuffling, it will be giving you either H or T any moment of time. This was about modules that you can rest of the modules that you can explore further, because it is a very extensive library, and now you are able to understand how can you use the modules in your Python programs. So this is learning by doing, so practice on this, you will be able to